So at the time of this recording, Kevin McCarthy has made a huge stride forward towards the speakership. He was able to secure 15 additional votes from Republicans who'd previously opposed him, bringing his total to 214. Now, he's still 4 votes shy of the 218 that he needs to become Speaker, and the House is adjourned until 10 p.m. to give him some time to wheel and deal and negotiate. But in the meantime, this is January 6th, right? The 2-year anniversary of the insurrection that MAGA and the Republican Party inflicted on the United States of America. And what's interesting is Democrats are taking this opportunity to, in terms of their messaging and their rhetoric, tie January 6, 2021 to January 6, 2023 in terms of feckless and incompetent Republican leadership, particularly with McCarthy, right? Because he was a Republican leader then, and he's not much of one, but he is still the nominal Republican leader today. So the reason this is good is because it's good politics, and it's good opportunistic politics because the day is significant. They're seizing on an opportunity to, get a dunk in on Republicans, however small it may be. Because the fact of the matter is, even though there's really nothing at stake here for the Republican Party. Like, we've been making a lot of fuss about the humiliation that Kevin McCarthy is experiencing, and with good reason, because it's fun, and it is good to see the Republicans in disarray. But in terms of stakes, if we're just being candid, there's really nothing on the line here, right? We're not at risk of a government shutdown because the government is funded through 2023 thanks to the leadership of the Democratic Party and Nancy Pelosi back in December, right? So nothing is looming immediately on the horizon in terms of stakes. So really, this is about Republican self-respect, Republican cohesion, Republican PR, and Republican dignity. Not that Republicans generally have much dignity. So it's good that Democrats are seizing the opportunity to try to add another layer to the situation and try to maximize Republican incompetence and Republican disunity for the Democrats' favor. So Axios does an article about it. House Democrats connect Jan 6 to the GOP speakership fight. And you can probably predict where it's going. The whole campus is aware of the juxtaposition of these two dates and what they're attempting to do, which is disrupt our democracy, said Representative Annie Kuster. So she's making the case that on both days, right, January 6, 2021 and January 6, 2023, you have a group of radical Republicans who are attempting to disrupt democracy, obviously in radically different ways. Other quotes from Democrats include, I've been thanking my lucky stars all week that these Republicans weren't in charge 2 years ago, said Representative Sarah Jacobs, which is true, right? If these people can't even elect a speaker with a congressional majority, and the speaker in question, the presumptive speaker, is their minority leader, and it's taken them 72 hours to do it, it's an historic failure. How the hell could they have possibly managed a crisis like, securing the Capitol against the rioters, doing what Nancy Pelosi did when she was Speaker of the House, which is get on the horn to various executive branch authorities, speak with the vice president, speak with her counterparts, speak with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to try to get security in the Capitol and repel the invaders. Susan Wild says GOP leader Kevin McCarthy cowered into submission to the extreme fringe after January 6, and today his conference can't even come together to perform a threshold action, which is true. After January 6th, McCarthy publicly criticized Trump for inciting the riots, but then afterwards backed off immediately because he's a coward. He's an invertebrate. He has no spine, no sense of dignity or self-respect, and he ceded to MAGA and the Freedom Caucus. It was the government shutdown in 2019, the insurrection of 2021, and now the current chaos of 2023, says Representative Jason Crow. The common denominator is having a handful of Republicans in the House of Representatives who have no interest in governing, and so on and so forth. Now, I would make the case that it's more than just a handful, right? The Republican Party really doesn't have an affirmative policy message, and they haven't for the longest time. They have positioned themselves since the 90s, at least, in the post-Reagan era, as the obstructionist opposition party, and an increasingly disloyal one at that. Again, you've heard me reference this before, but Newt Gingrich really reshaped the Republican Party in this way, and McConnell in many ways took the formula even further, but it's all about opposing Democrats. It's all about, blocking Democrats. It's not about an affirmative message. It's not about an alternate point of view. It's just playing defense, right? And using the levers of power, and their own systemic advantages to just stop Democrats from doing what they want to do. and doing what they feel needs to be done. Republicans as a whole, collectively, are just like a cat, right? Just knocking shit off the counter as you're trying to clean. That's what they are. And so I disagree. I don't think it's just a handful. But anyway, it's great that Democrats are actually hitting on this, that they're tying these two events together and trying to milk the good PR by exposing and exploiting the bad PR of the Republican Party for all it's worth.